Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to do the probability of a repeated event. So before we did a simple event, just one outcome. Now we're talking about this outcome happening more than once. So for these, step one is going to be to find the probability of it happening once, like we did before. Okay, so just as a reminder, remember that's number of favorable outcomes over the total number. So step one is just like what we did before. Step two is going to raise that number, or raise that probability, what you found in step one, to the power of the number of times it happens. Or repeats. Okay. So let's look at an example and we'll see how to apply this. Okay, if you flip a coin, ten times, what is the probability that you will land on heads all 10 times? You're just thinking about that, casually. The probability is probably pretty low, right? Because would be quite a coincidence. So we're going to do step one, which is to find the probability of landing on heads once. Okay, so there's one head and there are two sides on the coin, right? Okay, so the problem is 1/2, or 1 and 2. So step two, to find the probability of landing on heads 10 times, would be to multiply this by itself, raise it to the power 10 times. So 1/2 times 1/2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I do it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So instead of having to do this out by hand, which would be 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, and then 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, you can do it on your calculator. You can do it as 1/2 in parentheses to the 10th power. Or you can make it a decimal first. You could do 1 divided by 2 and get that answer. Do it on the calculator so you can follow. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, right? And then you would use the exponent key. So on the computer calculator, it looks like this. It says x to the y, and then you put your exponent, so 10 times. Okay? So to write that on your paper, you would divide that out, and then on the computer, you're going to use the x to the y key on your laptop. If you use the calculators in class, you would use the little caret button to do an exponent. So these are the calculators in class. Okay, and then you would put in 10. Okay, so the answer we get either way is 0.000977. So that's a very small chance. On your calculator, if you use the one from school, let's do one that way. Both ways. So if I did this on the one from school, I do 1 divided by 2 to get 0.5. And then I'd use this caret button here, 10, enter. Oops, what happened? Enter. Let's see, try that again. Let me try a different calculator. Problem. Try that again. So 0.5 to the 10th power. There we go. But I did 1.5. 0.5 to the 10th power. There we go. Okay. Now notice this one comes out different. It says 9.765625, and it has this negative 4. This means times 10 to the negative 4th. This is called scientific notation. And what this means is whatever this number is, I need to move my decimal. So because it's negative, I'm going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 places. Put my placeholder zeros, and you'll see that these two numbers are equal. They're the same thing. So if you use the calculator in class instead of your laptop, just raise your hand. I can help you get the hang of this. I would suggest just using the laptop because it's going to give you a number here that you want versus the scientific notation. Okay, so I just wanted you to be aware that that may happen sometimes, and then just raise your hand and I can help you with it. All right, so let's do some other examples, and we'll use the laptop computer just so it's less confusing from here. All right, so example, if you roll a die, three times, what is the probability that 4 will be rolled all 3 times? Okay, so let's think about that. First, we want to find out the probability of rolling 4 once, right? So the probability of rolling 4 would be 1 out of 6, right? There's 6 sides on a die. One of them is 4. So then the probability of 4 all 3 times would be the probability of 4 times itself 3 times. Okay, so all 3 times, that's why we're multiplying it 3 times. Okay, when you've got smaller amounts like this, you can choose. You could do it 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and you could do 6 times 6 times 6 is 216, and then you could divide. Okay. So, oops, let's see laptop calculator, not that one. So you could do 1 divided by 216, and I get 0.004463. Or you could do 1 divided by 6, writing it this way, 1 divided by 6, which is 0.16 repeating, and use your x to the y button to the 3rd power, okay, in order to get it. And you'll get the same thing. So let's do that one on the calculator too, just so you have an example. So if you didn't want to multiply these 6's out, you could do 1 divided by 6, and then you have your probability of 1, and then do the power x to the y of 3 times, and you're going to get the same answer. Okay? And we'll practice putting in the calculator. I know this is kind of a new skill there. All right, so let's try a couple more. These will be try on your own, but I'll help you through it if you need it. So if you spin 5 times, what is the probability of getting 4 all 5 times? And here's your spinner. We're going to do it in half this way, and half this way, and then half these again. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on your spinner. Okay, so we want to know the probability of getting 4. Let's start with that. Probability of 4. There's only one 4, but there are 8 possible outcomes. So 1 in 8. And then the probability of 4 all 5 times. Okay, you could think of it 2 different ways. You can do your probability of 4 times itself 5 times. Okay, or you could think probability of 4 to the 5th power. Okay, these mean the same thing. We're just writing it out. Okay, if you did the fraction way and you multiplied all those 8s together, you're going to get 1 over 32,768, and then you can divide that to get your answer, 1 divided by that. If you do this and you put it in your calculator, let's go through that process. Pull up my calculator here. I want to do 1 divided by 8, enter, that gives me this number as a decimal. Exponent button is x to the y, 5. Okay, so our answer will be 0.00003, and we just round from there. Okay. All right, let's do one more. Okay. All right, if you roll a die 4 times, what is the probability that an even number will be rolled all 4 times? Okay, so first thing, we just want to get the probability of that 1 time. So the probability of rolling even, think about how many even numbers on a die. There's 2, there's 4, there's 6. So that's 3 times 2, 4, and 6, just so you know what I mean. And there are 6 total numbers. Okay, so if I reduce that, 3 6 is the same as 1 half. Okay, so then the probability of even all 4 times is going to be 1 half times 1 half times 1 half times 1 half. That's the same thing as 1 over 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. Or you could think of it as 1 half to the 4th power. And you get the same answer either way. Okay, so let's prove it to ourselves. 1/16. 1 divided by 16 is 0.0625. I'll write that down. 0.0625. So we've got it. And let's see if we get the same thing the other way. We're going to do 1 divided by 2. That's 0.5. Exponent button, 4. Same thing. Okay? So either way you want to think about it, this is probably going to be consistently easier because it will always be just 4 times. You get into big numbers. This would be the easier way to do it. Okay? All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions and have a great day.